When Anakin Skywalker betrayed the Jedi and turned to the dark side in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi truly believed that his best friend and apprentice was gone forever and consumed by the dark side and Darth Vader. As Obi-Wan was in exile on Tatooine, the same planet Anakin had grown up on, he watched over his son Luke for years and came to believe that Luke was the prophesied chosen one of the Jedi Order and not his father Anakin. Even though Obi-Wan Kenobi had lost all faith that there was any good left in Darth Vader, Obi-Wan actually watched the redemption of Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, and his thoughts when Vader saved Luke are extremely interesting and shown in the Legends book, The Life and Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's get started. Obi-Wan's spirit was invisible but present when Luke arrived in the Endor system, where the Empire had constructed a new Death Star battle station. When Luke surrendered to Vader on the Endor Forest moon, Obi-Wan listened as Luke maintained his belief that a remnant of Anakin Skywalker, his father, remained within Darth Vader and had not been entirely consumed by evil. Luke urged his father to let go of his hate. Vader said, "It is too late for me, son." Then he signaled to two stormtroopers to escort Luke to a waiting shuttle that would carry them both to the Death Star. As the stormtroopers moved up behind Luke, Vader added, "The Emperor will show you the true nature of the Force. He is your master now." Luke stared at Vader for a moment before he said, "Then my father is truly dead." Obi-Wan's spirit wished he had convinced Luke of this fact earlier. After Vader had delivered Luke to the Emperor's throne room on the Death Star, and the black-cloaked Emperor orchestrated a lightsaber duel to test father against son, Obi-Wan became even more resolved that Luke had been unprepared for the confrontation. He is afraid of what will happen to Leia if he fails to defeat Vader, Obi-Wan thought. He must kill Vader. But when Luke finally managed to disarm and subdue Vader, Obi-Wan's spirit practically cringed when the Emperor fixed his yellow eyes on Luke and said, "Good, your hate has made you powerful. Now fulfill your destiny and take your father's place at my side." Obi-Wan's greatest fear is that he would lose Luke as he had Anakin all those years ago. But then Luke deactivated his lightsaber, faced the Emperor, and said never. He flung his lightsaber. "I'll never turn to the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi, like my father before me." The Emperor scowled as hatred grew inside him. "So be it, Jedi." And then the Emperor raised his gnarled fingers and unleashed his wrath on Luke, launching bolts of blue lightning at him. Luke screamed and writhed in agony, and then the Emperor released another barrage. Vader was lying near the throne room's elevator shaft, where he had collapsed during his duel with Luke. While the Emperor continued his assault on Luke, Obi-Wan's spirit monitored Vader as the injured figure staggered to his feet and returned to the Emperor's side. "Father, please," Luke groaned. "Help me." Obi-Wan knew that Vader would never help Luke, and he felt almost overwhelmed by a sense of dread. Luke would soon be dead, and Vader would still remain the puppet of Emperor Palpatine. In fact, Obi-Wan was so convinced of Vader's nature that he was stunned by what happened next. Vader suddenly grabbed the Emperor and lifted him off his feet. The deadly blue lightning fell away from Luke and arced back from the Emperor's fingertips and crashed down upon both Sith Lords. Vader carried the Emperor across the throne room and hurled him into the elevator shaft. A moment later, the Emperor exploded in a great release of dark energy. Vader collapsed near the edge of the elevator shaft. Luke went to his side and eased his armored body to the floor. A thin wheezing noise hissed from the ventilator on Vader's mask. His breathing apparatus was damaged beyond repair. Had Obi-Wan's spirit not witnessed Vader's action, he would never have believed it. Darth Vader, the same monster that Obi-Wan had left to die on Mustafar, had sacrificed himself to save his son, Luke. And suddenly, Obi-Wan realized where he had failed. For unlike Luke, Obi-Wan had not only believed that Anakin was completely consumed by the dark side, but had actually refused to believe that any goodness could have remained within Vader. And by refusing to allow that possibility, Obi-Wan had condemned not only his former friend, but his own capacity for hope. Fortunately, Luke's unwavering faith in his father's innate goodness had proven to be a stronger force than the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan recalled what Qui-Gon Jinn's spirit had told him so long ago, when he said that Obi-Wan was not ready and that he failed to understand. For so many years, Obi-Wan had thought Qui-Gon Jinn meant that he wasn't ready to comprehend details about Anakin's conversion to the dark side. But now, he finally understood his master's words. I wasn't ready to forgive Anakin, and he won't be entirely free unless I do. Unfortunately, just as Obi-Wan realized that Anakin Skywalker lived, he also knew that Anakin would not live much longer. As Luke hauled his dying father toward his shuttle, Obi-Wan's spirit shifted his own psyche to another realm, and he waited. After Anakin died in his son's arms, Obi-Wan called out into the void, "Anakin." A moment later, Obi-Wan heard a familiar voice return from the darkness. "Obi-Wan?" "Master, I'm so sorry. So very, very." "Anakin, listen carefully," Obi-Wan interrupted. "You are now in the netherworld of the Force. But if you ever wish to revisit corporeal space, then I still have one thing left to teach you, a way to become one with the Force. If you choose this path to immortality, then you must listen carefully, and now, before your consciousness fades away forever." Obi-Wan could sense confusion and remorse in Anakin's psyche, but then Anakin answered, "But Master, why me?" "Because you entered the horror, Anakin," Obi-Wan said. "Because you fulfilled the prophecy. Because you were, and are, the chosen one." But Obi-Wan knew in his heart that those were not the only reasons. He added, "Because I was wrong about you, and because I am your friend." Anakin answered quietly, "Thank you, Master." Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.